I would like to go through the grammar part. So the facts. Okay, here is your subject, are is your verb, other things are your object. So fact is your object, and before object we have adjective, and before adjective we have adverb. Sorry. Second. So we need an adverb here because they all are ly. So you can also act as an adverb also. So this is also adverb or adjective also an adverb. It depends. So here into ing, they all are adverb. Okay, they all are ly. So there is no help from the grammar. Here what we need is ing form of the verb. Wine lovers subject. R is your verb sometimes grouped into something. It's object. This is also object. So in between we can have ing form of the verb. So they all are ing form of the verb. So no help from the grammar from grammar. This is your extra information. Extra information usually noun. So we need a noun here. It can be noun with s or noun with no s. Okay. So much is not your noun. It's adjective. Numerous is adjective. Thousands noun. Numerous is also adjective. So it means this is ruled out. This is ruled out. Couples or thousands. You have two options to choose from. Okay, much better. Much is your adverb actually. And numerous things to do. So adjective, you have two options to choose from. Here, samples, no, it's noun. Okay, the sample. If you want to go decode everything, there is your subject, compared is your V2. Wines, C14 to, this is your first object, to C14 to C14 in dash sample. So here, no, they all are objects. So, sample is your object as well. So object can be noun or adjective. The samples, if it is making sense with the, it's your noun. We need an adjective here. So physical form, physical state, physically is adjective. Atmospheric, icy, always adjective. Fluid form, solid form, no problem. Fluid state, no issues. They all are your adjective. So yeah, no help from the grammar. We have to read through and we need to understand what they have written. So can you guys please mute from your end? Thank you. So there are two dash unrelated fact. Two feelingly fact can be feelingly and dealing with affection, no. And treating is, when you're begging someone or, asking for help anxiously or, or begging, like you needed something urgently, not making sense. Seemingly means clearly unrelated fact. Clearly makes more sense because once you started, no, it should be generic term. You cannot, you can use those kind of terms when they are giving you the supporting ideas. So here there is no supporting idea. So here are two seemingly unrelated facts. Two unrelated facts. One, from late 1940s to this year, no, we tested atomic bombs in the atmosphere. Second, okay, that was the first fact that, from this to this, we tested atomic bomb in the atmosphere. And the second fact is that wine lovers are sometimes duped into dash exorbitant means excessive amounts for fake vintage bottles that were not from the year they were supposedly grown. So sometimes, wine lovers are sometimes duped into dash dipping excessive amounts for fake. No, no, trekking is something, the trekking. Swinging is swing, you guys know some swings and all. So expending, they, duped into spending a lot of money, exorbitant money for fake amount for vintage bottles that were not from the year they were supposed to. So this was, the second one. And the third one, okay, we'll go to the third one now. But we should understand everything because one is a little trickier. But Graham Jones, this is a person at University of this disease. Don't worry too much about it. This person thought he could use bomb information against counterfeit means fake. Okay, counterfeit wines means fake wines. So he thought he could use bomb information against fake wines. Carbon dating works by comparing the amount of carbon 14, which is a less common and less stable form of carbon, to more abundant carbon 12. Okay. for dash of years, for couple of years or thousands of years makes sense. No, thousands of years makes sense because it's all about, old wine, like vintage is, it's very, the wine which is very simple. So
This is
thousands of
Sandeep. I
years.
have a doubt here. Can I ask?
Yeah, sure. No problem. Yeah,
See,
sure.
with the context, you are saying after for we should only use noun.
No, no, no. I'm not saying that. This is your extra information.
Ha.
Okay.
So,
There is a
I
comma.
mean,
So
okay.
extra
So,
information are always noun.
okay. So, in
Okay.
the context of
Usually
this
when it starts. Yeah,
passage,
sorry.
numerous,
Mm-hmm.
because it's few decades. They are saying few decades is not thousands of years, right? So, whatever the
Yeah,
comparison they are making, thousands of years, maybe there was no testing at all. I mean, if you talk,
yeah,
so for
yeah.
numerous years makes sense. That's what I felt. For a couple of years, it is very
So
less
for
of a
for
sample.
numerous of years, we never use that term, first of all.
Okay,
With
so
year, numerous never come. Okay,
okay,
thousands of years and couple of years or couples also will not come. Couple of year. Couples is here, it is acting as a actually it is acting as a noun here. Noun with S. So couple, one couple and couples is more than one couple. Right? Okay, other way also, if you go with the elimination method also, no, it is not
mhm,
going to make sense. Okay, so for numerous years, first of all, we don't use that context. Okay, now you're only left with if it is not making sense also, no, there is
mhm,
no option for you. Okay,
okay,
but here, yeah, but here, if you see, if you understand what they're saying, from late this, okay, here they talk about 2 decades. That's true. Okay, but here, why they're using for a couple of years, you will be getting the supporting idea for sure. Okay, so I'll read through and I'll let you that. So for thousands of years, the ratio between the two has been the same. But those decades of, those 2 decades, okay, what they're saying for so many years, the ratio between two has been the same. Ratio between what two? Carbon 12 and carbon 14 they're talking about. So for thousands of years, okay, the ratio between the two has been the same. But those 2 decades, what are the decades they see talking about? From 1940 to 1963. Okay. So for those 2 decades of atomic bomb test increased the C14 level in the atmosphere. And as growing grapes absorb carbon dioxide, they take in trace amount of heavier carbon isotope, which eventually show up in the wine. The research team checked C14 levels in 20 Australian red wines with vintage from this to this year. And then, they compared the wines C14 to C14 in dash sample from the same year. In what sample? Physical sample. If physical is the answer, then solid should also be the answer. In fluid sample or atmospheric. Atmospheric because it's everything is in the atmosphere. No, carbon dioxide they are talking about. So they have tested C14 to C14 in atmospheric sample from the same years and found a direct match. C14 levels could go away the vintage year for each wine. So beware of wine scammers because even at atomic level in vino veritas. Vino veritas is a Latin word, okay? Latin word for, just a second, I'll tell you. Just a second. I forget actually. Yeah, it's like, it is a phrase. In wine, there is a truth. Something like that. This is just a proverb or phrase you can say. Not clear, guys?